son speaks through me.
Welcome to the channel, guys. I'm Warmaster Moloch, and this is an early game start guide to Kostaltyn of the Great Orthodoxy of Kislev in Warhammer 3's Immortal Empires campaign on Legendary difficulty. Now, in this video, I'm going to take you through the early stages of Kostaltyn's campaign and explain to you the dangers, the pitfalls, who your enemies are, and how to take them out quickly so that you can establish a base and go from there. Now, if that sounds like something that you'll find helpful, I have several of these videos already made with more on the way. So subscribe, hit like and the bell icon for more. Now, Kostaltyn's campaign is more challenging than that of his hotter dommy-mommy nemesis, Tsarina Katerin, mostly because he's in a position that leaves him exposed to major Norska, Chaos and Skaven factions right from the start, whereas she has a buffer to the north, including Kostaltyn, that allows her to expand and strengthen before she faces those threats. For more on that, you can watch my guide to her campaign that I released a couple of weeks ago. However, while Kostaltyn is subject to more immediate threat, that means he's actually superbly placed to get down dirty and take out some heavy hitters at top speed. Now, you start here at Erengrad, which is obviously more vulnerable than Kislev, as it's closer to Norska and can be attacked via the sea. Bad times. However, it's also a mega city and the territory around it is pretty easy to take, so you can expand quickly early on. Now, the big threats in this area are Clan Moulder at Hell Pit, the Ecstatic Legion of Slaanesh that will soon hold the Tower of Thrakk, Wintertooth, which will soon be pushing in against you from the north in this region here once they've taken out Drakk, and finally the World Walkers, who are a threat in the northwest. Obviously, if one of those latter two confederates the others, that will make it a single problem, but it'll still be coming from both directions, so it's a double-edged sword. Now, clearing Norska is a serious challenge because these are hostile lands with serious attrition to deal with. Plus, they're hard to traverse because of all these mountain passes, and once you hold them, they're also hard to defend because they're not very well fortified. What that means is you're going to have to make sure that you don't have any other distractions while you're taking that challenge on, which makes killing off Throt the Unclean's Clan Moulder and Azazel's Ecstatic Legion your utmost priority. So here's the plan. We're going to clear up the territory around us, and then at the very first opportunity, we're going to go straight for Throt. Wipe out his starting army, and then go right for the throat by attacking and taking Hell Pit. And then from there, we'll double back to finish off Clan Moulder and set about taking out Azazel before consolidating our little patch of turf, ready to kill some Norskans. And we should have these two heavy hitters wiped out within 15 to 20 turns and all of this territory taken for us to hold and use as our base. Now, the reason why we're going to go for Throt first, even though Azazel is closer and can be taken out quickly, is simple. Azazel's actually quite passive, and while he and his armies look pretty intimidating, they're very weak against the kind of ranged armies that we're going to be putting together as Kostaltyn. Meanwhile, every extra turn that you allow Throt to live allows him to put together more of his spammy armies that can just overwhelm you with numbers, and it also gives him more of a chance to build up defences at Hell Pit, which can be a pain to take if he puts an army inside. So, Throt dies first. Lud Slaaneshi boy, he gets sloppy seconds just how he likes it, and then the world is our frozen snowy oyster, and we're ready to take on the Norskans. Some things to bear in mind are that we're going to be spreading ourselves thin across this territory here, so we're going to be short on money and high on public order problems. We're also very likely to have Wintertooth declaring war on us while we're dealing with our first two enemy factions, so we have to be prepared to let less important settlements like Fort Stragov fall and then take them back later. It can be a bit of a whack-a-mole, but once this whole area here is consolidated, you will have a base from which to orchestrate Operation Wipeout Norska and carry on with the rest of your campaign. That's enough talking. Let's get on with some fighting. So we're going to get the Patriarch into the army here. Now, obviously that auto-resolve sucks and you're not going to take it. You've got to fight this one manually. You have a significantly better army, but there are ways and means of fighting Kislevites because they present certain challenges that other factions don't. I'll explain to you what those are once the battle starts, so let's get to it. So the challenges you're facing with Kislev is obviously they come with a lot more range than your average faction because they're pretty much all hybrid. We've got a couple of base melee type units here in the forms of a cavalry unit and a general, but you know, a general's nothing to be laughed at. And the cavalry is fast, so you've got to be ready to take them out in their own way, but you've got to watch out for the shooting because that will do you a hell of a lot of damage and you want to minimize casualties, especially in these early battles. And with regard to the other big challenge with Kislevites is that they go unbreakable once they're on the brink of breaking. So you have to kind of get in there, trigger that, and then get away so you don't take more damage for no reason. So what I'm doing here is I am using my skirmisher speedsters here to lure troops away because you've got some armoured Kossars to deal with here as well, and I'd rather be concentrating on lesser armoured units as much as possible. And yeah, I've got the Patriarch and Kostaltyn out the front there so that they can tank and also tie up the ranged units when the fight really begins in earnest over there, because that way they'll have to stop shooting. Just trying to avoid getting shot with those guns. So these armoured Kossars are moving towards us already, which is fine. Already killed a couple of them.
Taking position. Kislev sends us forth. Wherever Ursun asks. March for Kislev.
And these have got great weapons, so we definitely don't want to be charging into them. Bring the cav over to here. So we want them ready to be a reaction force.
Taking position. Kislev sends us forth. March for Kislev.
And what we're doing is we're just keeping them moving so that they can't shoot. And actually, do you know what? We can hit these now, I think.
A fine strategy.
Yeah, they've hit the unbreakable. We're just going to charge into them. Just get as many kills here as we can. Right, out you come. The Streltsy need to attack that. And then the Kossars can attack the other Kossars. Right, get rid of them. Cool, right, come on over. Just tie these ranged units down. Streltsy, you need to kill them.
Slash their skulls. For suchers. To battle. Fight war fled. They die. The motherland's finest.
There we go. Let's pull them out. And these, and we'll just shoot them down now. As soon as they lose their unbreakability, we're in.
Obey the Orthodoxy.
Supreme Patriarch.
Right, make sure those rout. And there we go. The army loss penalties hit. We just have to wait for them to lose their unbreakability.
Sons of Kislev.
And that's that. Simple enough, but you really can take some casualties if you're not careful there. I could have had fewer casualties than that, so that was even quite sloppy by my standards. Replenishment there, not great, nor's the money. We'll take the little replenishment we can get, because there's a lot of range at Castle Alexandronov. For Kostaltyn, we're going to go Route Marcher because we're going to go through straight the way to Lightning Strike first and foremost with him. And then we're going to go for Urson's Roar for the Patriarch so we can get him to Salyak's Lullaby.
I am Throt.
As you can see, this is not a hugely challenging garrison, but they do still have range and they do still have spears. So you've got to use the same tactics that I was mentioning before. Tie them down so they stop shooting, while you've also dragged some away using your fast units. So let's go to it. Lack of armor on their part is a big advantage for us here. We're going to use this here. We rarely get outflanked in this battle, but it's always nice to be safe. And cav-wise, we'll just leave them there. Come over here, because again, we want to try and lure units away. I've got them on skirmish mode, just in case I get a bit sloppy while I'm moving other stuff around. It's the spear units especially that we want to hit, because obviously they're harder to charge with cavalry. Just keep them turning round once we've got them moving. There we go, so move to this direction now. See the way we're moving just beyond their firing cone so that they have to keep turning and can't get all of their shots off? We've got 2 units tied up here and we've slowed down the entire army. There we go. Don't like running these through trees, but sometimes you have to. In this instance, I'm just going to turn back. Double back on ourselves, because we've got a clear bit of space here. As you can see, they're all slowing down because of what we've done. They don't quite know what to do. Okay, they're starting to go forward, so we want to bring this cavalry in here just to finish a unit off here. Even though it's a spear unit, they'll be concentrating on shooting at us. So the dervishes should be able to smash into them. Go. You know what? I'm going to charge these now. Right, let's get over here. Right, get them out. Because we've managed to trigger the Unbreakable. Same again. Right, get these all the way out. And we'll come over here. Yeah, just tie them down. And then we'll charge this unit here. You shoot at them. You shoot at them. You guys shoot at these ones.
I am Kislev throne.
Patriarch! Brutal penance! Post-Battle Recruitment!
Purity.
Right, the Unbreakable's been triggered. Yeah, just keep them tied down. You finish shooting them. There we go. And that should be that. There you go. That one was pretty efficient. Right, don't be tempted by the money for looting or sacking here. We need money, but at the same time, we don't need public order issues, and you'd only spend that money repairing everything anyway. Right, Kostaltyn. We're going to stick one into Leader of Renown, and we're going to start training 2 units of Kossars. Over here at Erengrad, we're going to change this to relief columns, the commandment, so we can get more recruitment there. We're going to demolish this building here because we're not going to be recruiting Kossars with spears, at least not now anyway. And we're going to start building this building here, which gives you extra growth and reduced recruitment costs, because that's pretty important. And then we're going to get ourselves another boyar. Tough choice, Cunning or Vanguard. We are going to be facing a lot here of Chaos and Norska in this campaign. I'm going to go for Vanguard.
Absolute
Yeah,
power,
Vanguard it
as
is.
I deserve.
And then for him,
Only the most skilled may serve.
2 units of Kossars as well. For our research, I always recommend going for Pirates' Weapons first, because that buffs your ranged units.
Thanks be to Orson.
And that, guys, is it for this turn. So, turn 2, Azazel's already taken the Tower of Thrakk. Don't worry about it, that's not a big issue for us. We've got bigger fish to fry. Kostaltyn's going to come to here, staying within the territory of Castle Alexandronov, because we want to recruit separately here. So 2 units for him, and we will get Salyak's Lullaby for the Patriarch. Then this guy, the other general, is going to come to here. And we're going to recruit 4 units of Kossars there. Now, for your new building slot in Erengrad, go for the stall, because you'll need that money at this stage. So we're running more than one army, and doing that this early on is always really expensive. So just go for that. We're going to end the turn there.
Ice is purity.
Okay.
First,
Kostaltyn leads the attack here at Zoishenk. And we'll just encircle for now. Obviously, it already shows a Pyrrhic victory available, but we're obviously not going to accept that. We need to be moving fast and not taking major casualties. This guy is going to give 4 units to Kostaltyn. He's going to keep 2 to himself. That might seem weird, because Kostaltyn's got space for another 2. We'll come to why in a second. Now, this battle, obviously, it's very similar to ones that we've already fought, so I'm only going to show you a little of it, but you don't need to see all. Now, main thing I've got to show you here is setup. So we're going to put Streltsy roughly central in the army there. And we're going to corner cap just because they do have some cavalry, and we could do without having to micro turning around if they decide to flank you, which is about the only thing the AI really knows how to do strategically. We're going to put our skirmishers over here, our cav unit here to act as a runner to smash any units that we've softened up enough with the skirmishers that we can rout them. And obviously the general and hero here. We're going to get the other general coming in with his reinforcements from here. Now, an important thing to mention here, start this up. Don't checkerboard. The reason why you don't want to checkerboard is that this is going to be a ranged fight. So checkerboarding actually goes against you. And we're just going to start the skirmishing. As we've shown before, if anything shows up that you really need to see, I'll show you them. So just to show you the progress here, we've almost wiped out one unit and we've drawn away a total of 3. And our reinforcements have come in. We're going to group these here. And what I'm going to do now is put us in a nice narrowish space there, with these guys acting as blockers, while we continue to chip away at these units. Those are Kossars with spears, so we don't want to charge our dervishes in yet. But as you can see, we've slowed down their advance completely because they're dealing with the skirmishers and it's distracted them. Like, the whole army is now held up because of these 3 units. See, even their dervishes are starting to think about coming back. And here the firefights started, so we're going to use these guys to tie down the shooters. And at this stage, now we know their angle, we're going to move forward so we can start shooting closer. While over here, we've more or less smashed a few units there. We've drawn the general away, which is nice too. And now we're just going to charge these units here. Pull that one away from the general. And we'll hit that little boost to those guys. Then we'll take out this cavalry unit. Everyone's shooting, so everything's doing fine there. And now at this stage, we're going to draw all of these guys over towards the main fight. Right, tie them down. And these guys are just stopping the AI from shooting, so we're going to move a little bit closer. I'm just going to order a bit of a charge here. There you go. Even the unbreakability is not making any difference here. At this stage, we'll get all of these guys together. Because the army loss penalty is hit. You can see that because the general's about to go. We'll just speed this up because we're going to use Salyak's Lullaby to heal our guys up. We've got 3 instances of it. So we're just going to let these guys run off the battlefield while we do that. You don't need to see me waiting for through 3 lots of Salyak's Lullaby. Just use all 3 or as many as you can get in before they manage the complete retreat. And there we go. This faction's gone. Go for Occupy. You don't want to mess with your public order, as always. Now, here's why I didn't give all of the units to Kostaltyn. He now has the option to recruit 2 more units at Western Oblast. Now, Marat here is going to drop back into Erengrad, where he can recruit 4 more units of Kossars. Oh, hang on. So he's got Route Marcher. We'll cancel Kostaltyn's because he's about to get 2 into Leader of Renown, which makes these Kossars cheaper for him. And cooldown reduction of Salyak's Lullaby for the Patriarch.
Obey.
For commandment here, I'm going to just say go for money. And now we need an Ataman. We're going to go for this guy because it's money and growth. We want to build up Erengrad as soon as possible and also get in as much money there as we can. It's a fairly valuable settlement. It's obviously not Kislev, but it's pretty valuable. Now at this stage we're not going to be recruiting here next turn, so we're going to change this commandment to awaken the land so that we can get extra income. And that's it for this turn. As you can see, we've encountered Clan Moulder. They've got Fort Ostros. Now I should probably explain the next turn to you. If we're lucky, Throt is going to hit Fort Stragov and take it out and kill off the Dragina Enclave, who do not like us and will eventually declare war on us if we don't do it first. We'd like to avoid doing that because the devotion cost to that is horrendous for us. So we need to try and find another way to get rid of them, either letting Throg get rid of them or letting Throt get rid of them. Often Throt will just go up and take Fort Stragov next turn, and then we attack Throt inside Fort Stragov and take the settlement off him. If he doesn't do that, we're going to have to get a little bit more cunning. Let's see how it goes. So Fort Stragov has not been taken by Throt, which is a shame. That means that we now have to size up Throt ourselves. We could just go for Fort Stragov, but it's not worth it. I'm going to go into ambush stance there. I'm going to put this army here. This is high risk, high reward. We won't declare war on him because we don't want to risk being ambush hit. End the turn. And let's see what Throt does. This positions us between Fort Stragov and Fort Ostros. So wherever he is next turn, we can get him. But he's going to be at Ostrosk. Okay. So obviously Throt is inside here. So with that in mind, we're going to explore that place. We're going to declare war. And we're not going to fight it manually straight away.
A sacrifice to our son.
Because we can bring in this army to chase that one a little bit further away.
Not one step backwards.
Not sure that's going to keep it out of the fight entirely. It's not going to, but that's okay. Stops it from showing up like right next to where we're going to, so it's fine. Now obviously it gives us the option of an auto-resolve for Pyrrhic victory, but look at the state of that. I wouldn't have taken it anyway, but look at the absolute state of that auto-resolve. Let's fight manually. Okay, so there's a lot we're going to have to cut through here, so we're going to put the reinforcements here and we're going to set up a checkerboard. I want a 7-part front line. I want Streltsy as backup. And some reserve Kossars as well. When I say backup, I mean that I want them to not be involved in the front line, because even though they're the best fighters, they're the least expendable of all of our infantry units. And these guys can just be blockers. Go around here. No, do it that way for Christ's sake. And we're going to set up like this. Like this. And the Streltsy I'm going to put here because it looks like that's a fairly flat firing line. But another thing we've got to bear in mind is we can't have fire will on at the moment. And we'll actually bring the cavalry out too. That's because we're dealing with Menace Belows. These wolf rats are not a problem. We will trash them in melee. In fact, we're going to do that now. Let's get it done while we've got the chance, because they will rout extremely quickly.
Taking position. It is done. Slay them.
Yeah, I need to take the skirmish mode off there. Just to make sure that the bears got involved, because they're the main thing that these are scared of. Right, get out.
Netherlands' finest! Kislevite
That's okay, that went fine. How are we looking here? Get rid of them. And now, let's start pushing
sons of Kislev!
my checkerboard out.
Excellent! Kislev sends us forth! Moving!
And now we'll go back to skirmish mode. Get that cav in there. And now we want Kostaltyn there. Let's go with the Patriarch there, Kostaltyn there. We want to be ready to deal with... Right, that's it for the menace below. Let's bring these here.
Oh, with honor!
See how we've done in terms of luring units away. So there's another 4 units lured away. There's a lot of stuff coming our way, though.
Taking point! Wherever Ursula!
So the more shit we can lure away, the better. Fire at will. I want to start luring these guys around. Okay, you get to there. You to the... Jesus Christ. And you to there. Right, Streltsy, can you get rid of that mutant rat ogre, please? They're doing a good job of it. Right, it's gone. Keep the rat ogres tied down. Is that Throt? Yes, it is. I've got a lot of ranged units over here.
Cut them down! The Orthodoxy is alive!
Okay, Streltsy, I want you aiming at him. Right. Melee. Melee. And melee. Let's get these tied down. Right, get him away from Throt. Right, Kostaltyn's got speed, so that's okay. Yeah, the Patriarch's running. Bring Kostaltyn in here to just try and hold that up. Right, pull these out. Tie them up again. These guys are being blocked. Got the friendly fire block going on. Right, they're routing. Go for these. And now, come back. Go for these units here. Okay, we've got a little bit of time and movement range now. So, Kostaltyn, get in here. And get ready to start shooting. Right, not Kostaltyn doing that, but the our ranged units. This unit of Streltsy needs to come back.
I am Kislev's throne! Punish them!
We're not concentrating on fighting. They're in skirmish mode. Get them out of that. So just run them over here. Get rid of these Skaven slave slingers. because they'll rout pretty fast if you just attack them right by the corner. We'll try and do the same with the clan rat spears as well. So we've got a lot of shit coming in here. Run around. Okay, come around this side. Right, go for those Skaven slave slingers there. Right, get Kostaltyn out, he's getting hurt. You need to shoot whatever it is that's bogging him down.
Hearts of ice! Retreat, comrades!
Right, you shoot them.
Hey, go for Urgent! Infidels die!
Okay, get out of there and go for these.
No! These were the Jews!
Fire repositioning!
We fight for Ursun! They die!
In Kislev's name!
Kostaltyn, get out of there.
Power unquestioned!
Observe my location! Land is power! I want land! You have vengeance!
Right, he needs to... Do you know what? We're going to run him off the battlefield. He doesn't especially matter. He can keep fighting there. Now, attack that.
Excellent!
We'll bring these cav through here. We're going to turn these round because there's more to shoot at in this area. Kostaltyn, get out the way.
The motherland's finest!
Right, I really want you to shoot at things that aren't Throt, guys. Seriously.
Kislev-on! Kislev endures! Abandon the fight!
There we go. Now let's go over here, try and get rid of this guy.
Anything for Kislev! Obey the Orthodox!
And now we'll go for that unit of Skaven slave slingers. Victory is within our grasp.
I smell heresy!
God's sake, these hitboxes are so bad now.
Kislevites moving!
And that is the army loss penalty. Job's a good one. Brutal fight, but we have taken so much out of Throt's army there, including Throt.
Let's serve Kislev!
And at very, very minimal expense. And let's get these guys together so we can use Salyak's lullaby. It's a shame we had to run the general off the battlefield. We probably could have kept him on, but hey-ho. Yeah, get together, guys, seriously. There we go. We've got a couple of Salyak's lullabies that we can use. The general will get a bit of replenishment over the end turn. But yeah, we have taken out pretty much all of Throt's force at the moment. He'll obviously build up some more stuff by the time we reach Hell Pit. We'll deal with that then. And that's that. And as you can see, we didn't lose a single unit there. Whereas Throt's lost all of his good stuff. He's lost his heroes, he's lost his mutant rat ogre, he's lost his starting rat ogres. That is not a good day for Throt the Unclean. Here we go.
I am
Now, because this is in such a wretched state, it does make sense to consolidate some of the units,
only
recruit a couple,
faithful may serve.
get rid of that building because we don't need it. And for him, we'll just go Leader of Renown. For our research, we don't have any spellcasters yet, so we're going to go Ice Court Discipline because we really need to get a spellcaster in as soon as possible, and it takes Kostaltyn a very long time to recruit them. We'll go for Reassuring Presence there and Draft Master,
Orson moves through this.
and then we will go double replenish troops there. Now, just to point out again, this is the hard mode option. If Throt's taken Fort Stragov, you can wipe him out much more easily, catching him inside a settlement, killing him in the garrison that's there. It's really easy. That fight is much tougher. So now you're ready for that fight, if it happens. Yeah, not worth demolishing that. Just take the extra growth. Okay, so the Druzhina Enclave have gone over towards Help It as well because we've taken out Throt. We're going to move over there in encamp stance.
Give thanks to the Orthodox.
With him doing the same. Let's take that bit of replenishment.
Chaos.
And now this guy... is it worth it? I'm going to say yes, let's get another few units, because we will want them sooner or later. The Ataman, Frost Maiden Ally, that's a great one. We want that at the River Linsk. Ready for when we get our first Frost Maiden. Obviously, don't put any growth or money in here. Now, something else to point out. Azazel does have a tendency sometimes to come walking around this territory here. Don't worry about it. Don't deviate from the plan. If he does that, it's nothing to worry about. I've never seen him actually start an attack this early, even when it's basically undefended. Let's take a look at our diplomacy. It's a very small amount of money. Nothing at all.
It is time.
Nothing at all.
The Empire. Greetings. Yes. Approach.
Cheap bitches. What can you say about that? But that's fine. We will end this turn on our way to Help It.
Purification through cold.
Obviously, we're in negative income now.
The bear.
Stalton's got to lead the attack.
Zamir.
Valiant defeat, my ass.
The infidel dies.
And this guy's just going to come in behind to give us some extra firepower.
My rule spreads. Improper for nobility.
Obviously, you can auto-resolve that if you want. I don't recommend it. We want our armies as untouched as possible. We'll fight it manually. This is such an easy siege. I will show you how to win this. Minimal casualties. You can even do it with an army inside, reinforcing Help It if you really need to. Here is why this siege is so easy. See that dead spot there where there's no tower coverage? Basically, these towers only fire in this region here, so you can sneak everyone round to this side. Obviously, this is cheesy and boring, but I'm going to show you how to do it so that you can take the settlement nice and easily, and you make your decision on just how cheesy you want to make it. So we're going to stack everyone up over here. Saying that, you could conceivably also have them ready to run around and attack gates elsewhere, but here's the other thing about Help It. The tower coverage only comes up to about here, so you do have plenty of running space to move your high-speed units. So, you know, don't worry about any of this stuff. It's fine. These guys will be here to deal with the menace below. There's normally about 6. Group these up in squads of 2.
Defenders of Kislev. Drag the truth together.
And obviously we're going to drag this round to here, where it's the safest. Even though it takes a long time for them all to come in, it's fine. And everyone goes off of fire at will. And we'll just kill off the menace blows as they come and mob them. The towers aren't even active. And you know what it is we're going to be doing in here. We're just going to be shooting at these guys as they come in. We'll wait for the Menace Belows to come in. I'm not going to show you everything here because this battle can take a long time. Why waste your time? Just know that they're going to put Menace Belows on us. Okay, Menace Belows are done, and as you can see, our reinforcements have come in, and I've changed the squads up to squads of 3. Now what we're going to do is we're going to move the heroes forward a little bit, Streltsy as well, and then we're just going to gradually bring each squad of 3 down, and we're going to look for blobs to fire into here. Now, something to emphasize, don't go for the single entities. They do find it a lot easier to dodge. Because basically the way CA have dealt with siege cheese is just by making units run around with no real vigor loss. It's a weak way of dealing with it, but you know, there you go. It's the best they could come up with. So just put these guys in basically a queue. And then just find some blobs to shoot at. You will have to watch out for being shot by this tower here. Shit happens. I personally also like to break down the gatehouse tower just because... the gatehouse. Just because that way sometimes units come out and they get shot down much more easily that way. That's why I've got the Streltsy here. Because if it's a single entity, you want the hard boys doing it. The Streltsy will take them apart really quickly. But now we'll just get to about here and start looking for blobs to attack. Obviously, I'm not going to make you sit through all this, but here's a prime example of a blob that I would shoot at. Because then even if you miss your target unit, you'll probably hit the units around it. I'm not shooting very fast. Let me get these grouped up better. There we go, fair bit of damage there. So what you've got to watch out for with this is that looks like we got the gate down, so that's good. Yep. What you have to watch out for... Just move this around. Is a hell of a lot of dodging going on and accidentally aiming for single entities because they dodge much more easily than large masses. Aim for there. Also, when your units run out of ammo, be ready to pull them back because they will charge into the settlement. It's annoying, but Kislevite units seem to love going into melee as soon as they've run out of ammo. You definitely don't want them charging in to help it before you've taken everything out. As you can see, these guys are now taking the shots from the tower. They're tanking them for us. That's good. I'd rather this guy didn't because he's weaker. But yeah, you see what I'm doing. I don't think you need to watch very much of this. And obviously I'm going to do it in high speed anyway. Okay, so ignore the time there. We've been playing this on triple speed. So we're going to put these together. And now we're going to bring the Streltsy forward because they're going to go up on the walls. The reason why I've been holding them back is because obviously they can shoot the Mutant Rat Ogres, the Mutant Rat Ogre and the Brood Horror and the General from the walls with maximum effect. And they're also very, very strong in melee. So they can fight off anything that's basically left here in melee if it's not already taken out by our Kossars. As you can see, the Kossars are doing a good job against the Night Runners. Let's just get them to turn a little bit and really get into those. We're just looking to trigger the army loss penalty at this stage. Right, that's got them off of the walls. And tell the Kossars to Stop firing at will for now because they're wasting shots going for the mutant rat ogre. That's a waste of time. I want to go for these instead. There we go. So if we just start lining up here, and I'll put them on fire at will, because then they will start firing down at the mutant rat ogre. Obviously, we've still got these in reserve, so you can run these around taking points and everything. It's not worth it. Let's speed this up, because we're very close to the army loss penalty now. See, he's literally just running around back and forth, back and forth. It's not a threat, it's just a distraction. Okay, that's gone. Got wolf rats coming in here. Let's let them get shot down. We'll start bringing our cav down. At this stage, I am happy for the Cossars to go into fire at will mode. Brood Horrors coming down. And that's the army loss penalty. Simple as that, guys. It's long, it's cheesy, it's not as bad as that time limit makes it look, because as I say, we played almost the entire thing on triple speed, but that will get you hell pit on, what are we on, like turn 6 or 7? Yeah, absolutely minimal casualties, and we have got ourselves another mega city. I'm not going to recommend looting and occupying because, again, public order is a factor here, and the money's barely worth it. I wouldn't say we need to recruit any more units at this stage either. Kostaltyn, put both of those into lightning strike. This guy, one into Urson's protection. This guy, one into leader of renown. I say turn 7, we have got hell pit. Commandment, definitely control, because we're going to be moving on from here fast. And that is that for this turn. And over the end turn, Clan Moulder got taken out. Turn 7. Simple as that. Now we've got to decide what to do about the Druzhina Enclave. They don't like us especially. Let's have a look at our relations with them. They're not bad.
Sister, your rejection of
The Ropsman clan like us quite a bit now, so we can get some trade going with them to give us some extra money while we've got the chance. Cracker Drac, nope.
Who called? I will listen. What? I will listen, but my time is short.
And we'll definitely take that from Nordland. And our financial situation is now looking a hell of a lot better. Now, we can actually get rid of the Druzhina Enclave if we want to here. It will take away our devotion, but we need to really deal with these guys, because they will declare war on you eventually. Okay, so she's run practically into the middle of nowhere. This army comes in here. We attack there. We've blown all of our devotion. We just have to deal with it, just because Throt didn't do what we wanted him to do, which is take her out. I don't feel like taking the kind of casualties that we would get from this in the auto-resolve, so I'm going to fight it manually. You really don't need to see this one. It's a doddle. And there we go. And we'll take money, because we need money a hell of a lot more than we need anything else right now. Aside from devotion, because that has absolutely messed up our devotion. That's okay, though. We no longer have to worry about being hit with ambushes. So we don't have to go into encamp stance anymore. So we'll just stick close together in forced march. Come and have a go if you think you're hard enough, ladies. They might go for Fort Ostros. That'll suit us down to the ground because we'll sweep in and take them out easily.
Patriarch.
We'll go Icon of Strength for the Patriarch.
Lord of the
This guy can have Leader of Renown.
a tool fit for a lord.
End the turn. They thought better of taking Fort Ostrosk for good reason, so we did have a Chaos Incursion. Beastmen, whatever.
Good of Kislev.
I feel like we can auto that.
Kislev. Serve
I also feel like that very much flatters them, but there you go. We'll take the Devotion just to get our totals up a bit.
heresy. For the
Plenty of
Orthodox.
replen here. We do want to be moving on nice and fast.
A bold stratagem.
Let's go to here. And then our force march to catch up, because we do want to be able to get inside Fort Stragov as soon as possible. That's all good. We can boost Erengrad up, and do you know what? I think that is just about worth it. It's pretty expensive for this stage, but we're going to do it. I feel like this one is probably not the best thing for us right now. Now, for our research, we'll go for cold storage because we want that extra casualty replenishment rate and growth.
Kislev's might grows.
Experience there. Lightning Strike. Nice.
For gods bless me.
And let's go Impassioned for the Patriarch. End the turn.
Supreme Patriarch, word reaches us that your flock...
Not worried about that.
Embrace this familiar scorn.
That gives us a fair bit of money. We're going to go for this because we want the growth and control.
Kislev's chosen.
Now, obviously, Kostaltyn's going to lead this fight. Pyrrhic Victory, it's saying, for the auto-resolve.
It must be.
Bring in our reinforcements.
Extend my authority.
Suffer for a
Close victory, obviously we're not going to take that. We'll go for the manual fight. You don't need to see this one either.
This changes nothing.
And that's bye-bye to the Druzhina Enclave. We now hold everything here. Again, we're still not going to put money into any of it.
Boyar.
Or growth. Not yet. For this guy, let's go for Reassuring Presence. That's always useful for factions that are going to be fighting Norska a lot.
heed me.
And for Kostaltyn, we're going to go Logistician.
Gift from the bear.
For the Patriarch, extra replenish troops. And we've got another Ataman available. We could definitely, I mean, growth would be nice. Money would also be nice in this situation. That's a lot of growth right there. I am going to say let's go for growth and control at Hell Pit, because we do need to keep that place under control as much as possible.
Corruption grows. Supreme Patriarch.
Commandment-wise, let's just go control. Again, we just don't want any fights here. Something else to mention here. So we've got a trade caravan showing up. Now, something you can rely on at Erengrad, unlike Kislev, trade caravans do tend to show up at Erengrad and give you money because it's a port, so you get trade value from that. That means that you don't necessarily have to hang around attacking the trade caravans to get some value from them. So that just saves you committing your armies to it. You do get a lot less money for it, but it's still cash. Free cash. And will you look at who just showed up here? First of all, a trade caravan showed up and gave us 3,000, like I told you. But the boy Azazel has shown up in forced march. How bloody nice of him was that? And he's clearly been fighting, so we get
Of the bear.
There are those who
to go to town on him,
The heretic.
which is exactly the sort of thing Azazel likes by reputation. We're obviously not taking a Pyrrhic victory here. We will trash this. Let's fight. You know what we're going to do here, guys. We're going to park ourselves in a corner and we're going to cheese it out. 9-part front line. Have them facing the other way so that they can move faster to where I want them to be. And this cav, honestly, we might as well get rid of it at this stage. An extra unit of Kossars would be more useful now. Chaos Warhounds, we can rout them easily. Marauder Horsemen of Slaanesh. The truth is, I'm just not worried about this army in general because it's Slaaneshi. There is so little armor here. If anything, I'm going to use these guys to try and get Azazel into the fight sooner. Actually, do you know what? We'll go for the Manticore first, in fact, because Azazel is actually less tanky than the Manticore. That Slaaneshi habit, or Slaaneshi love of nudity, really doesn't do him any favours in a fight. Put it that way. Okay, he's coming at us. He's very fast, normally speaking. So if we can get these guys to charge at us, he is going to get wrecked extremely quickly. There you go. The Manticore's gone feral, so... Or it's rampaging, I should say. It's a feral Manticore, so it's rampaging. Let's get this cav. Just leave it there. As you can see, that Manticore's already almost gone. I love these light war sleds, by the way. Think of them as Empire war wagons that can actually fight. And it looks like we've got rid of the Manticore. Stay on him, stay on him. Oh, Azazel's coming in now. He does like to get into a fight good and fast. Okay, move fast, move fast. And come across to here like this. We want him to run across our line. Push these forward. It's using Lash of Slaanesh against a kind of skirmisher caveat, for crying out loud. Pick the right unit. Azazel himself is reasonably tough in terms of the amount of damage he can do, similar to Nakari, but why is he not... They just weren't switching out of skirmish mode. Right, now we're going to run back across our line again to make him follow. And get ourselves into the firing line. There we go. We're obstructed. Which is irksome. As you can see, he's already almost gone. Right, let's start prepping these guys to block.
For the throne! Obey the Orthodoxy! March from Kislev!
And Azazel is basically gone. Right, let's get these guys out of the way. And he's gone. Simple as that, guys. Simple as that. Azazel looks impressive, but he's really not. He's more of a threat in theory than practice. Cavalry, yeah, let's just leave them as blockers. Send these round. Shoot, shoot, shoot. We've got a shadow spellcaster here. Let's bring him a little bit deeper. And now I'm going to charge these warhounds because they're shit. There we go. Get those out of there. Chaos Trolls, you block them. Okay, he doesn't really need to stay here. Not that it matters. And they're basically done already. Let's go for the spellcaster. Right, you guys need to get rid of those Hell Scourges. And we'll come across to here with these guys. Try and get him out because he's taken a bit more damage than I would have liked, and these guys have not done a great job of protecting him.
Bring them down!
And that is the end of the battle. Let's get these guys together so we can fire off Salyak's Lullaby. We'll let the mortals escape, because we just want enough time to get in some Salyak's Lullaby. Playing a bit fast and loose with our Patriarch there, but we were fine. And that's that. Azazel's army's gone. Few options to go for here, but I'm going to say go for the Devotion.
I am Kostaltyn.
We will come to here.
Kislev never rests.
And here, just stay close together still. Kostaltyn will get renowned and feared. That'll reduce the cost of his army, and now our financial position is actually looking really solid. Public order's getting better over in Hell Pit because of the Ataman. We're not going to put anything into Fort Stragov because you have to be ready for Thrakk to come in at any point. Draft Master for this general. End the turn. Alright, so we're on the home straight here. We've got one Ecstatic Legion settlement to take, but there's an army inside it, and the Tower of Thrakk is an absolute pain in the ass to take because the tower coverage is pretty brutal. So I'm going to bring Kostaltyn in here. Yeah, they're going to try and take my Streltsy. Not happy with that at all.
Destroy them.
And then we're going to bring this guy in here, and we're going to try and soften our own army up a little bit. Just to change up the balance of power a little. So we're going to get rid of the dervishes, because losing them's not a problem, and it might affect the balance of power a little. And then I'm going to swap the Streltsy out to this army. That still leaves us with 17. That should be okay. This guy, definitely fiscally prudent. Because, yeah, the thing is, Tower of Thrakk is a pain in the ass, so I want them to come out and fight us in the field. So I'm trying to work the balance of power a little bit by moving 2 powerful units into the army of Marat here and getting rid of another one in the cavalry. Could conceivably have moved these across to Marat's army as well, but I do want them around a skirmish early on. So we're just going to go with that for now. And there we go. They've opted to fight us because we just weakened our lead army enough that they thought, you know what, we can take them. And all they've taken is a unit of Kossars using the Seduce unit thing. That's absolutely perfect for us. We can obviously Pyrrhic victory this with an auto-resolve, but we can take far fewer casualties by fighting this manually. Let's get to it. Alright, so this settlement, when they sally out, it's this map here, which is actually very favourable for us because this corner is great. We're going to bring the reinforcements to there. And I'm going to go for a 9-part front line to start. And we're going to have these guys skirmish and just draw some units away. Because there is a lot of mass coming at us here. And we do want a little bit of time. Just about 2 minutes to get our reinforcements in. But we should, touch wood, be fine here. Let's go... to here. Okay, those chariots are going to be pretty nippy because they're Slaaneshi. Okay, we want to get these guys lined up. Going to come relatively deep here. Get these units back to here. Bring these 2 back here. We'll put the Patriarch there. And Kostaltyn there. Kostaltyn's on his bear. Right, let's try and loop around a little bit. We've got the attention of a couple of units, including the Kossars that they stole from us. So we'll come round to here. Yeah, so a couple of units of Demonettes are moving after us. Looks like those Marauder Spearmen are as well. And the Kossars. Good. Okay, that's a decent little bunch to draw away with these 3 units. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put these here. Because we do want a flank guard here. And let's start checkerboarding. How's our flank coverage? When I say flank coverage, I mean stuff that attacks from this side. It's really hard to see the shooting lines here, but yeah, not bad, but not amazing either. Right, come round to there. Okay, so we've got the other general here. We'll bring him to here. We're going to put the Streltsy up on the flank here. We're going to go for a 6-unit back line. Bring these to here to shoot over the top. Here we go. Here we go. Right, just run him around so that he doesn't take too much damage from these trolls, because he will if I just leave him there. There we go. Now come back to there. There we go. They shattered almost instantly. Nice. Oh, they charged in very, very quickly against our Streltsy. Didn't notice that at all. That's okay. Come round to there for these guys. Streltsy will do fine in this fight here.
The bear commands.
Right, where's this general? Here we go. Just get him to there. And then we're going to get the Streltsy to here. And this 4-part line here. There we go. Let's take those off of skirmish mode and just loop them round to here. So the demonettes aren't a huge worry for us, we're just keeping them distracted. And now we'll put the skirmish mode back on, put this on for Kostaltyn, there we go. Yeah, we're beating the crap out of them now. Gotta watch out for those trolls coming back though, so maybe turn a couple of units slightly. Okay, now we'll loop these round the back here. Okay, these don't look like they're firing at all. Yeah, they didn't. They've got like a bit of a slope in front of them. They're not very well placed. Okay, they've gotten in on us. That's okay. We'll bring Kostaltyn in there. Bring them in here. Oh, he needs some healing. Let's get him round. Just block that off. We'll get rid of this guy just fine. Shoot them down. You get rid of the trolls. I do want to get this unit of Streltsy out. Get that to there. We'll just charge these guys in. Right, we want to turn these around now because we've got plenty of room for firing. Right, charge them down. Don't worry about that general there. He'll get taken out in no time. You aim at him. And it looks like they're about to crack. Yep, that's the army loss penalty. I didn't even fight that as well as I could there, and it was that easy. Right, you guys chase there. Oh, is it not the army loss penalty? Okay. Oh yeah, the Cossars have got unbreakability, so yeah. That'll keep them in the fight for a little bit longer. Just shoot these down. Right, just take them out. There we go. The unbreakability hit. And they'll vanish after the battle anyway, so we don't need to chase them down. Yeah, they're getting shot up nicely. And we'll just use the Salyak's Lullaby to heal our guys. But yeah, how easy was that? I didn't need to bring anywhere near my A game for it. And we'll just wipe this unit out. And take the opportunity for some more Salyak's Lullaby. In fact, 14. Yeah, we should have enough time for another Salyak's Lullaby in here. There we go, and we can just get rid of this unit. If I slowed it down, I'd be able to see where... Yeah, that's enough. They're going to be wiped out. Now, for this one, a bit of replenishment wouldn't be too bad. Devotion would be nice as well. I'm going to take the devotion. Just to prevent any more chaos incursions or anything like that we might need to worry about. The Ropsman clan are clearly impressed with our action here, so let's just take that. So Kostaltyn, we will go for Urson's Roar and Salyak's Lullaby. Impassioned for this guy, for that extra melee defense. This one, I'm assuming he's got a point. No, he doesn't. Okay. Let's take a quick look. Auto-resolve it. Didn't lose a single unit there. We're going to sack it because that's a fair bit of money they've got in there. And it's not a particularly important settlement for us to hold, really.
I am Kostaltyn.
And then we'll occupy. This guy... Eventually, once I've gone through all this blood... all these bloody messages, there you go, Ecstatic Legion gone, I will give Kostaltyn his other units back, so he's got a full army. This guy can start recruiting some more Kossars.
Lord of all.
We'll get Lightning Strike for him.
Symbol of my unparalleled authority.
We'll go into our research, and I'm going to say go for improved lookouts for the local recruitment capacity.
Of Kislev.
Purger, not that important. We'll go for Horse Comrade. Neither of them are great, but I do like to use those war sleds, so yeah, we'll keep that one. Erengrad's coming along nicely. We'll start to put some money into Castle Alexandronov because we'll be able to move across there to defend it against Sarl soon. Well, next turn, in fact. And for Ostrosk, I'm going to put a growth building into because why the hell not at this stage? Tower of Thrakk. Yeah, we will stick the repair money in there because it's fairly cost effective. But guys, that's basically it. I told you in about up to 20 turns we'd consolidate everything south of Norska. Well, between Norska and Kislev and Prague, and have it under our control ready for the fight against Norska. Well, we've managed it in 13 turns. And that was on relatively hard mode because we had to take out the Druzhina Enclave as well. Normally, about 70% of the time at least, it'll just be Throt and then Azazel that you wind up having to take on. Obviously, this starter Kislev faction you have to take out as well. But there's not really as much to do in your average normal campaign. This one I had to do a little bit more, and we still managed it in 13 turns. So that's the plan. Take out Throt, come back and get Azazel, wipe out anything in between. Now we're ready to wage the war on Wintertooth, and eventually the World Walkers who are getting close. They'll probably confederate Sarl soon, or Wintertooth will do that to both of them. Either way, we are ready to take them on. We're strong enough. We've got a nice consolidated area of territory here. We've got good relations building up with the Empire, and we'll be able to confederate Prague, the Ropsman clan soon. Let's take a look.
Know well that I am a
Yeah, we will be able to get them eventually. They just need to be whittled away a little bit by Norska, so that will come. So yeah, 13 turns. We're in great shape, ready to kick some chaos ass. I hope you've enjoyed this video and found it helpful, guys. If you have enjoyed it and found it helpful, I'd appreciate you hitting like, subscribing, all that other good stuff that YouTubers ask you to do. Either way, I hope you join me for the next video, which will be coming up pretty soon, and I shall see you then.